Hi, it's Graham from the Leaseback Team here, and I want to talk to you about the best ski resort in the world. You can almost hear Jeremy Clarkson saying those words, can't you? But they're not his words, they're not even my words. Those are the words of the Sunday Times, who voted Sainte Foy on Tarentaise the best ski resort in the world. I'm delighted to say that we're now officially launching Phase 2 of this really exciting development that is my personal favourite in our portfolio. Here's what Sean Newsom actually said in the Sunday Times. He said, "Size doesn't always matter, and Sainte Foy on Tarentaise is a case in point. Thanks to some sensitively handled redevelopment, the place has been reborn as a cute and quietly luxurious retreat for families or anyone who's tired of the mega resorts. The skiing is superb, and when you've had your fill, the larger lift systems at Les Arcs, Val d'Isère, Tignes and Le Rosier are all within easy day tripping distance." And it's worth having a look at the top 10 that they came up with, because there you are, there's little Sainte Foy at number 1 ahead of places like neighbouring Val d'Isère, some of the best resorts like Verbier in Switzerland, Monte Rosa in Italy, Aspen, Colorado, right down there at number 7. So, you know, Sainte Foy in this kind of company really is top of the pops. The development we're launching now is Phase 2 of this project. It's called L'Étoile des Cimes. It's a superb location. It's a ski in and ski out 4-star project. Every apartment has a view down the Tarentaise Valley, and there's loads of personal use options here. Compared to those nearby mega resorts, the prices per square metre are much lower, and with Sainte Foy being a kind of undiscovered hidden gem, the prices are starting to rise faster than the surrounding areas. So between 2009 and 2010, when we were still in the worst phase of the post-credit crunch property depression, prices here actually went up by 7.5%. That's pretty much the view you'll have from your balcony, looking right down the valley, and you know, summer or winter, it's a sensational outlook. I took this from the where the fitness club's going to be. This is in the building behind Phase 2, and that's going to be the look, the view from the gym, looking out down the valley there. It will, I believe, have a roof on it by the time you start using it, so don't panic. And this is how close you are to the centre of everything. Here's the ski school. I'm actually standing on the piste, you know, risking life, limb and certain death to get this photo for you. And that in the distance there is the side of the project, which looks out to the valley, which is down to our left as we look at this picture. That's how close you are. It's about 50 metres to the piste and the ski school. The facilities here are amazing. There's an indoor heated pool, there's a sauna, Turkish bath, hammam, spa place, little sort of baby club. There's even a bar for an après-ski drink, a meeting room, there's a game room. And then in the apartments themselves, you've got flat screen TV, you've got internet access, you've got your own private storage cellar. So, you know, one of the things people sometimes are concerned about with a leaseback is you've got other people staying in your property the rest of the year. Well, here's a place you can store some private possessions that they never have access to. And similarly, you have your own ski locker, which is not the one used by the weekly tourists, so that you can actually leave your stuff there in between visits and not have to lug it around the airport every time. You've got your own private underground parking space as well, so you've got everything that you need to be self-contained in your own residence here. And if you look at the quality of the fit and finish, you can see you won't exactly be roughing it in these apartments. So there's a typical interior with the sofa, bed, flat screen TV in the corner, dining space, opening out onto a balcony which will be looking down the valley. And that's a typical bedroom fit and finish. As you can see, it really justifies the 4-star label. High quality materials, both, you know, attractive to look at but also durable. Next big question when you're looking at a leaseback investment is, who's the management company? Well, this is MMV, and they've got 25 years of experience now, and they've just gone up to 50 million revenue in the last 12 months. over 800 staff, 130,000 clients. They are one of the strongest players in the market. And as with any leaseback project, you get this great flexibility that whatever personal usage pattern you choose at Sainte Foy, you can swap that with any of MMV's other projects, which include a load of other ski resorts: La Plaine, Alpe d'Huez, Montgenèvre, Les Deux Alpes, Tignes. But also they've even got a place down on the south coast in Cannes. So if you fancy a sunshine holiday 1 year rather than a ski holiday, then you can swap your weeks of usage for that as well. Here's what one of our recent investors in the first phase of Sainte Foy said. This was Dr. Sally Wilson and her husband Peter. I'd never heard of Sainte Foy when Graham mentioned it to us, but I've got to admit he was right when he called it a hidden gem. Until you go there, it's hard to understand how stunning the place is. We've got a brilliant apartment with views down the valley, yet it's just 30 seconds from the piste. There's a nice selection of shops and restaurants and a ski school for the kids. It's a great investment, but it's also something that will give us years of fun. Graham and his team helped us get the right mortgage and guided us through all the paperwork. I hope it remains a hidden gem. Well, we'll see, but that's daughter Phoebe there, who was having a great time on their recent holiday in Sainte Foy. Where is it? Well, you can just see it in the top right-hand corner of the Alps here. Nearest airports are Geneva and Lyon, perhaps Grenoble, and you're up there just in that corner near Tignes and Les Arcs, near some of those big resorts, but not part of them. You've got some distance from them. You've got skiing from 1,500 to 2,600 meters. Not just on piste, there's some great off-piste skiing here, which makes it very popular with the ski instructors from places like Val d'Isère and Les Arcs. They come here on their day off and have a lot of fun. If you're a complete nutter, there's even access to the heli skiing in Italy, where you go up in a helicopter and they drop you in various places, and you ski from a great height. So if you're an adrenaline junkie, you can do heli skiing from Sainte Foy. But most important of all, you're also just this 20-minute shuttle ride from Tignes, Les Arcs and Val d'Isère, with access to the Espace Kili with hundreds more kilometers of skiing. So to me, you get the best of both worlds, because you've got an easy day trip to those places, but you've got the benefit of a quiet, peaceful resort without the madness of those big mega resorts. So what's in L'Étoile des Cimes Phase 2? There's only 23 apartments. This is quite a small release by normal leaseback standards, so there ain't a lot available. It's just 23 apartments, but they've all got that superb view straight down the valley. They range from a single 38 square metre one bed up to an 111 square metre mansion, a 4-bedroom place, and the prices from a very reasonable 208 up to 684 for the mansion. You've got 3.8% guaranteed rent, but what's most unusual about this development, which I've not seen anywhere else, is you get effectively free access to the property when the resort is closed in spring and autumn. So that gives you another 5 months to play with, either in terms of more personal use for you and your family, or even if you wanted to be a little bit enterprising, you could maybe do some letting out to friends and work colleagues and so on, and further increase your rental return from the property. So it's a very flexible proposition in terms of the amount of personal use that you get. The way it works is this: you start with this 3.8%, which is the net of VAT price excluding the furniture and parking, so it's 3.8% of the real estate price, and then you just take off a percentage for each of the weeks you want. So if you wanted a very high week, like say February half term, then that would take off 0.6. If you wanted to have 2 medium weeks, then that would come down to 3.4%, or you could have maybe 8 low season weeks, bringing it down to 3%. So basically we just come up with a formula that suits your personal needs, and you can change that every 2 or 3 years if you decide that, as circumstances change over time, you can flex that to more or less usage accordingly. And this is the current season's calendar, just to give you a feel for it. And you'll see the low season weeks in green, the medium in orange, and the high in brown. And notice even that Christmas week was only a medium season this year, and that you've got all this usage in June, September. The Alps in summer is a great place to be, and going into the ski season in December again, the early parts of the month, it's all there available for you. So loads of flexible usage options in this Sainte Foy project. Let's look at a few example apartments. Here's one of the larger ones. This is a 3-bedroom duplex, so it's on 2 floors, about 87 square meters. On the lower floor, you've got this large living dining area opening onto the very wide balcony. This is where you'll be sitting having your après-ski gin and tonics. You've got the master bedroom here with an ensuite shower room, separate loo. And then you go upstairs where you've got another 2 full-size double bedrooms, a family bathroom and a second loo. So this is really luxury living by ski apartment standards. And that one is 521,000, including parking and furniture, and there's up to 18,500 guaranteed rental income from this property. If we look at a more sort of mid-range one, here's a 2-bedroom one, 57 square meters, and again you come in a nice long entranceway here. This is your living dining area, again with the sofa bed in there if you need to accommodate guests or children. Then you've got 2 double-size bedrooms. This one's got an ensuite shower room, this one's got an ensuite bathroom. So you've got luxury for at least 4 people here, and again good sized balcony looking straight down the valley. Really great outlook, and this is a very reasonable 332,000 with up to 11,500 guaranteed rental income for a 2-bed. Next down from the 2-bed we have a 1-bed cabine, if you like, or sometimes called 2-bed cabine, where you've got your main master bedroom here as a double, and then the second bedroom is effectively bunk bed, so it's really more for children, but you've also got the sofa bed in the living room. Now this one, as you'll see, it's also designed for wheelchair users. That may or may not be a feature that's relevant for you, but it does actually mean you end up with quite a good floor space. They're designed with wheelchair access in mind, some of the apartments, which means that you get larger space around the bed, space around the bathroom and all the rest of it. So, and again, a full width balcony here looking down the valley. So that's a nice mid-size one, maybe for a small family if you've got young kids, something like that. And that one's just 262 net of VAT with 9,000 a year guaranteed rental income available. And then at the lowest end of the price range, there's a 1-bed apartment, 38 square meters. Again, really good size living area, really full double bedroom, family bathroom. You've got the sofa bed in here to accommodate some extra guests, and a full width private terrace. And this one is available at just 208,000. There is only one of these, so if that's your budget and you want to be in this resort, please pick up the phone now and see if you can reserve it, because after this one goes, the next cheapest price unit is 261,000. So if 200k-ish is your budget, I doubt if you'll find a nicer apartment in the Alps than this, but as I say, there is just the one, so let us know very quickly if that's what you want to do. In terms of financing the investment, the banks have tightened their criteria somewhat from the good old days of 100% plus mortgages. They'll now give up to 90% loan to value subject to your income status. And the choice of mortgages actually gets a lot better if you're able to put a 20% deposit down. So if you budget for somewhere in that sort of 10 to 20% range for your deposit, then the legal fees under the French system typically are about 4% as well. So you will need some capital to put into this. This is not one of these things where you get a sort of no money down property. I don't want to waste your time or mine on that kind of discussion. You will need something in the region of 15 to 25%, depending on how much you want to put down as a deposit and to cover your legal fees. Mortgages can go up to 30 years, and they can be either the variable repayment type, capped or fixed, so there's varying degrees of security you can add to that. But the main thing I would want to propose to you here is that we will create a personalized financial simulation for you, because everybody's different in terms of their available capital, their available income, how much they want to put in up front, how much they're prepared to contribute as they go through to pay the capital part of the mortgage down, and we will give you a choice of different mortgage products and options. So here's, excuse me, more about what the press say. This is Neil English in the Mail on Sunday. He said, Sainte Foy's ski lift and piste network has been extended to offer 13 groomed runs catering for those at strong intermediate level. It's possible to take a long, rewarding cruise on blue or red intermediate runs from the top of the 6-person La Marquise chairlift all the way down to the village centre. There are also black expert runs from the top of the 8,600-foot Col de l'Aiguille. It's worth mentioning too that many people buy ski passes for 5 or more days in Sainte Foy because this gives them heavily discounted skiing at other resorts such as Les Arcs, should they wish. I can't really do the Virginia accent, but here's a quote from the Washington Post. There's no poured concrete here. Chalets are built from local timber, stone and slate, and much of the development has an enviro-friendly slant. The lower slopes are great for beginners, while adventurous types head to the top to reach a powder keg of backcountry. You'll rarely wait more than a few minutes for the lifts, and the sheltered location means more staying power for the powder. And as the man said, it is an eco-friendly development. This project's been built with natural insulation, it's using solar energy, collects rainwater, geothermal energy. It actually, they calculate a sort of green score on new housing projects in France, and this one gets 112 out of 150, which is the highest I've seen for a ski development, because ski projects aren't always that eco-friendly, but Terre Essence, the company behind this one, is very much into eco-development, so that's why this gets one of the highest green ratings of any ski resort. Now, I've told you a bit about the specifics of this resort. I just want to explain a bit about how the launch of a leaseback project works to try and make sure that you don't miss out. Because what happens is the project gets announced, and then there's more than 200 agents right across Europe and now increasingly Asia who get involved in promoting that project. And often you'll find that all the units are reserved in a few weeks. We've had that a couple of times last year with developments at La Plagne in the Alps and Juvignac near Montpellier. And when there's only 23 apartments available and you've got 200 people across Europe approaching all of their investors with them, you can imagine it doesn't need much for them to get reserved. So occasionally some will come back on the market, perhaps if the person can't get a mortgage or something like that, but you're then looking at crumbs from the table. And really, we just want to try and avoid that, because many international investors do miss out because, frankly, they procrastinate too much, they're just too slow moving, and I want to show you how to overcome that without feeling that you're putting yourself at risk. So here's what we should and should not do. Let's start with what we shouldn't do. Find that you're interested in the project. Think about it. Think about it another week or so. Do some more thinking as we get to, say, day 12. Maybe you're starting to get interested now by day 21. Finally, a month later, you ring me up and say, I think I might just want to reserve something in this Sainte Foy Phase 2, Graham. And I have to say, sorry mate, you're too late, they've all gone. And I've had this happen to me so many times in the last 3 years that, because the UK property market is in the doldrums, people tend to assume that the same is true of the leaseback market, and it simply isn't. French property has still been going up in value. This is a very specific niche of French property, and there's a lot of interest in ski apartments across Europe and increasingly now from Asia as well. So here's the smart way to invest. If you're genuinely interested in the project, let's talk about the specific sizes and prices of what's available. You then put a 5% reservation deposit on a specific apartment. That takes it off the market in your name. You'll then be sent a contract pack, which you have to check over. We can go through that with you. You sign it, and then you return it to the developer in France. They countersign it and send it back to you, and from the moment you get it back, you've still got another 7-day cooling off period before you have to make a final decision. Now that means in total, allowing for all the elapsed time of the postage coming backwards and forwards, you've got around about a month to make your decision from a position of strength where you know that it's already off the market in your name, and then you can make that final decision to proceed. So that's the smart way to invest, and that's what I'd encourage you to do. I want to go on to give you a shameless bribe, because you really have got to see this place. Just like Sally Wilson said, until you see it, you really won't understand why I'm so keen on it. So we can actually offer you a VIP escorted visit around the resort. Just need to tell us when you can get there, and I will arrange for someone from the company to be there to show you around the existing apartments and what's about to be built in phase 2. If you then decide to invest, once we get through the process, we will refund the cost of your flights. We'll pay up to £250 for those flights, just as a thank you for going out and having a look. In fact, I'll even go further than that. I'm so keen to get you to go there that I'm going to offer something to everyone, even if you don't invest. I will give you an Amazon Kindle just for making the trip. If you go out there, you look at the place, and you still think it's not for you, so be it. I'll still give you an Amazon Kindle just for going out there and having a look. So there's absolutely nothing to lose. I really think if you saw this place, you'd appreciate why so many people have fallen in love with it, and why it's not only a great investment, it's a great addition to your lifestyle. And finally, my last shameless bribe: for the first 3 investors who come along and commit to phase 2, when we get to the completion stage called notarization, we will give a 1% cash back, which is worth at least €2,000 if you buy that one small unit, up to nearly €7,000 on the largest unit. So that's just for the first 3 people who commit, and that will pay a good chunk of your costs involved in the acquisition. You'll get that back when you complete. So just to try and summarize, there's just 23 apartments, all with a nice view down the Tarentaise Valley. The prices are much lower than in the nearby resorts, from just over 200k, some lovely ones between the sort of 250 and 350k mark, as you've seen. And this is a really nice hidden gem of a place. It's a family-friendly alternative to the mega resorts. It's got some shops and some restaurants, but it's not like a great big busy bustling high street. But you've got great access to those places if you need them. They're just a shuttle ride away. The building itself, very high quality with good facilities. There's a strong management company in place there to give you a guaranteed rent. A massive amount of personal use available when you factor in those months in the spring and the autumn. And you've got 3 incentives to go: £250 refund of your flight costs if you invest, an Amazon Kindle even if you don't invest, and a 1% cash back for the first 3 investors. So really, I'd love you to go and have a look at the place this weekend and make up your own mind, because I'm raving about it. All the investors I've worked with who've ended up acquiring an apartment in the first phase are delighted with their acquisition, and I'm sure you will be too. So get in touch now if you want to learn more about the best ski resort in the world. Just give me a call on 020-8940-7000 or email graham@leaseback.co.uk. Thanks for watching.